Welcome, everyone, to the Sonoma Spiel. My name is Tim Zahner with the Sonoma Valley Visitors Bureau. Last night was the Sonoma City Party. 29th City Party, which means next year will be the 30th. On the first Thursday of August, Sonoma throws itself a big party because why not? I mean, we have one every Tuesday at the farmer's market, and then we have all sorts of other parties. But we decided to have a big party last night. It was really fun. Everybody was there. What I noticed, in addition to listening to the music, and people set up their camps, because in Sonoma, people bring their tribe together, and they find their little spot in the plaza, and they make it their like living room for 3 or 4 hours. They have tables and chairs and probably rugs and chandeliers, and it's a real experience to kind of go around the plaza and see how everyone's set up and stuff there. But
absolutely,
yeah, it's amazing. What I noticed of the food options, they had a place selling hot dogs, Chicago hot dog. They had a place with pizza, right? There's like New York pizza. They had a place doing Nashville fried chicken sandwich, the Nashville hot chicken sandwich. And it got me thinking, Sonoma needs its own dish with Sonoma in the title, and then the Sonoma blank that we can take to state fairs and county fairs and little city fairs around the country. So when people say, oh, give me a Chicago dog, or give me a slice of New York pizza, or a Nashville hot chicken sandwich, or some Memphis barbecue, or some Sonoma, we don't know yet. So I'm so happy that today I have a very special guest. And I know I say every week I have a very special guest, but this time I do actually mean it, because this guy brings together two things that will maybe help us solve this problem. He brings together food and also music. And this is the third thing, he's very energetic. I have Mr. Codi Binkley with B&V. Codi, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well.
Good.
But I still win the handstand competition.
Okay, no, here's the deal. You did not, Codi, I actually told your staff to tell you lost.
I did lose.
Here's the deal.
I'm not going to lie.
So here's B&V.
I'm going to start with that, by the way.
You're going to come in right now and attack me. Codi, B&V is a restaurant in Sonoma.
Yes.
It's right on the plaza. It's right next to the visitor center.
Yes.
I mean, we moved from one side of you to the other side of you. When we were there. But the handstand thing came about during COVID. We closed down the street in front of your restaurant. We called it the Sonoma Promenade, and it was a fun time. And then for some reason, you and I got into a handstand contest. And awesome. it was pretty close.
It was pretty close.
Were you you're like a master of the circus arts or something? Like, did you ever? Were you a gymnast?
Pole vault. I did pole vault. I still have the record at Sonoma Valley High School.
Wait. What? You should have said that before.
I know, but
you should have been like, I'm used to flipping over stuff. I know. I think you won, actually. That was pretty fun.
It was pretty fun.
And we still talk about it because maybe we should do a handstand competition in the plaza.
I think we should.
And like all comers could come in. But who's that guy, Tedrick, the kid that goes?
Tedrick. Oh, no. We don't want to battle him.
So he could be a judge.
He's the best.
Like he walks around the amphitheater. On his hands.
And not only that, but his sister is the best belly dancer.
She's a belly dancer. And his dad is a sculptor.
Oh, you should see his stuff at Burning Man.
That's what I'm saying. He's awesome.
Next level.
We're going to talk about Burning Man because I have an idea for sculptures and Burning Mans and some of the newly opened fields that used to be vineyards, which are now fallow.
They're going to laugh at us right now.
No, they're going to love this. They're going to love this idea. This is it. Okay, before we get anywhere, Codi Binkley, B&V. What is B&V? Tell us what that is.
So 14 and a half years, I was sleeping in the basement.
Okay, hold on. One more time. What is B&V?
What is B&V?
Yeah.
I built it.
No, what is B&V? It's a restaurant.
B&V is Bistecca Vino because my partner is from Verona, Italy.
Okay.
And he is such a talented chef.
Right.
Pirelli. I mean, every single person you could imagine, this guy has cooked for.
Okay.
In 1999, he was on Broadway.
Okay. And he had his own restaurant.
Yeah. And then he opened up Meritage, which is now Sonoma Grill.
Okay.
He got Nima.
Okay.
Sherpa.
Right, from the Sherpa family. Yeah.
And then he got Gin.
Okay.
And then, so La Casa, Sonoma Grill.
Right.
Carlo brought them all in and had done that for 25 years.
And was kind of building the dining scene around the plaza.
Exactly. That guy is so monster.
So that's your chef partner.
Yeah.
For the B&V, which is a restaurant on the corner of First Street and Spain
400 First Street.
Okay. And how long has it been there?
Open 12 and a half years.
Okay. But you just said you were sleeping in the basement?
Yeah, I was.
Wait, hold on. Before it was open?
before it was open. I did all the demo myself.
What was there before?
It sat vacant for 9.5 years.
Okay. And this is, so people don't know, it used to be a creamery, I believe. Is that right? It's been a lot of different things in Sonoma's history.
That was a Vianza property.
Okay.
Dick and Marianne Cuneo.
Okay.
Hands down, my favorite people on the planet. Like,
Are you saying that because they're your landlords?
hell no. No, due to the fact that they're such kind people.
Oh, really? Nice.
No, they're there every week. And they actually put in effort just to love.
So this was a building that had kind of fallen into some disrepair, and you were there working on it, making it.
I did it
to what
all
it's
myself. I took out all of. I did the electric.
Right.
Earl's electric. I was on scaffolding, running the electric, doing the
all that
lights,
stuff.
doing every single thing, doing all the paint, doing every single thing on myself.
This was a labor of love.
Yes.
Had you been in the restaurant business before?
I was a bartender.
Oh, you were? Okay.
Well, you got to think about it. I was on the tour all the time.
Doing what? Wait. There's a whole other side to you? What were you touring around doing?
Playing music.
So you're a musician.
Let's say.
You're a performer?
The Whiskey Thieves?
Okay, so you have a band called the Whiskey Thieves, and you perform with them, and you're the singer.
Yeah.
Are you also, do you play any instruments?
I wrote on most of the songs.
Okay. Let me ask you that. Do you write the notes and stuff like that? Or do you write the words?
Yes.
But then you write the notes too?
Yeah.
How do you do that? I literally don't know how to do that.
Mentally.
And you just know like this song. Okay, that's kind of cool. Like I'm not that kind of person, so I have no clue how to do that.
So it's so funny you say this. This morning I was on, I watched a thing called The Heat.
Okay.
It's Channel 47 on Sirius XM.
Okay.
Did you know that Jay-Z never writes down any lyrics? It's all out of brain.
He just memorizes it and then flips it back and memorizes it and flips it back.
Yes.
But think about it. That's how, like the movie The Odyssey's out right now, but like those long epic
Can't
poems.
wait to see it.
Those long epic poems were just people reciting it in their head and doing it time and time and time and time and time again.
And the first ever IMAX actually filmed movie on the planet.
there. So,
Yeah.
so we went from IMAX to Jay-Z to you. Hold on.
Okay, cool.
You're in the Whiskey
I wish.
Thieves. You're in the Whiskey Thieves, which is a touring band, and you were touring around.
We did 36 cities in 41 days.
Wow. That sounds exhausting.
It was so fun. Exhausting is like when you come back, yes, you're exhausted.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was so wonderful to hang out with your best friends
Okay.
playing music.
How did the band start?
We're still trying to find that
What?
due to the fact that we can't find our first album.
Wait. You have an album though?
We have an album called Almost Time,
Okay.
and that's getting on DistroKid. And now we have a missing album, and then we have 26 songs that are going to be released in the next 20 days.
When you say missing album, what does that mean? Like you lost it? Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a bummer. Like it's gone. Wait, I don't know any of this stuff. I don't think about
either.
music. Wait,
I'm telling you right now,
so when was the band started?
the band started in 2006,
Okay.
because you have Rock Bottom.
What was that?
That's our first one.
That was the name of your band.
Yeah, Rock Bottom.
Okay.
Rock Bottom Blues.
Okay.
And a local artist named Colin
Okay.
did our whole album, and it
Okay.
was distributed through Charlie, who was the cheesemaker for Vella Cheese.
Okay. So you got the
So
cheesemaker guy.
this goes way deep.
Okay, keep going. So you have the Rock Bottom band,
Rock Bottom Blues.
Rock Bottom Blues. And you can only go up because you started at Rock
so
Bottom. Okay.
we start there,
Okay.
and he made our first album,
Okay.
and then Charlie is the one that put it on. Not Disco Kid, but there's something like similar to like getting your CD produced,
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay.
because CDs
Back in the day, you had to get them out there.
basically it's like VHS.
Right.
But now we have another album that came out Almost Time. It hit #1 on Apple,
Okay.
and then when he passed away, everything got disconnected.
I did not know that. Okay. Oh, I see what happened.
And so therefore I have to find all the rights to, he's the one that put it on.
Oh no.
And Jimmy Goings is hands down the #1 producer.
Okay.
He's the Saint Esmeralda, I think is what it is.
Okay.
He played in front of like 70,000 1,000 people all the time.
That's crazy.
It's insane.
Okay, so hold on. So here you are, you're a musician, you're like traveling around, and then you're like, it's time to stop traveling around, and so I'm going to start a restaurant. Basically, is that kind of like the rough,
100%,
the Cliff Notes version? Okay,
but Cliff Notes.
but you were bartending prior to that, so you had some,
in
so you had
San
some
Francisco.
experience. Okay, but you had some experience working in a restaurant.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, let's open a music bar. Let's make it awesome.
Oh, that was okay. So that was the game. Was like
So I had to set up a stage every day, take it down. The hardest thing I've ever done in my life. I mean, we had original Bob Marley's band in there. We've had dead presidents. We've had President Brown.
This is at B&V.
Yes.
Where are you putting the stage? I'm looking when I walk in the door.
Right straight through. We took out all the tables and just
Okay.
because those booths weren't there.
Got it.
So it'd be like packed to the bam. I'm talking like 200 people
And then you had music blaring.
blaring
That'd be fun.
and laser light shows. We had all of it.
Okay. Was it the same restaurant concept as it is now? Because now you're a really you're a good restaurant. You're like a really good
Yeah.
restaurant. So you were like a rock and roll venue, or like not rock and roll, but like a music venue.
Trying to.
Yeah, but you were a music venue with food, and now you're like an amazing restaurant with the music past and still tied to your band, etc. And you guys still do performances there?
No.
Nothing.
It just takes too much out of the staff.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
My staff, a lot of my staff has been there since day one.
Okay.
There's only 4 people that have not been there since day one.
That's a great testament to, because like keeping staff in restaurants is very hard.
Yeah, it's my family.
That's, not literally though. You didn't like, you
I
have
know,
like 25
but
kids kind of thing. Okay.
They are my family.
I love that.
We check in on each other. We play basketball.
Okay.
Every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We all meet up. And now I have the La Casa family coming over too. We all play basketball.
Do you ever do La Casa versus B&V? Or do you mix it up?
We mix it up.
Good. That's a better way to keep it.
I know, but they're just not that good.
If they're listening.
They will.
Hey, for people who want to go to the restaurant, let's go real quick there. What kind of food do you serve? And I have your menu right here to refer back to if you need it. But
No, not at all.
Because tell me what are some things you like?
My favorite thing is the pappardelle bolognese.
Okay.
Because Carlo's mother, actually, that's her recipe.
Okay.
So it's a traditional Verona, Italy, actual awesome. But sometimes I'd like to switch it up and add chicken to the penne, which is a gluten-free.
Okay. Okay.
But our number one seller is the ahi tuna.
Really?
I mean, people just
They go crazy for it.
crazy.
Yeah.
And I never thought that people would actually like Brussels sprouts.
People love Brussels sprouts.
I know, they smell like feet.
But you know why? When you were a kid, did you like Brussels sprouts?
No.
Do you know what's happened to Brussels sprouts in the past? I know that you're a little older than 25, but in the past like 30 years or so, is they've grown them with more sugar in them.
Okay.
So when you roast them and it caramelizes, they do taste better than they used to when you and I were kids.
Okay.
Yeah. So they basically are super modified. They've been
And we use a Vella cheese. We buy the cheese wheel.
you put on top of the Brussels sprouts.
100%.
I mean, how can you complain about that, dude?
I'm not going to lie.
Have you ever had it with bacon? Have you ever had Brussels sprouts
Yes,
with bacon
it
on
comes
top?
with pancetta if you want it.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes,
So really,
100%.
what you're actually saying is you're not mad about Brussels sprouts. What you're actually saying is the Brussels sprouts are a way to convey cheese and bacon into your stomach.
Agreed.
They're like the method
I
to get it there.
completely agree with you.
And they're delicious then.
Another one is annoying,
Okay.
pagliamfino.
What's that?
It's a pea dish.
Oh,
I never liked peas in my life.
same thing. They got sweeter. But did you also
Sweeter,
Did
you're
you have,
right.
Did you have canned peas as a kid?
Yes.
Yeah, that's different than like actual fresh peas.
This one, like I have a lady named Gail,
Okay.
2 glasses of Gloria, Ferrer,
Okay.
and a pagliamfino. She is there every single day that we are open.
That's her order. She just comes in there.
over.
You know it.
Yeah.
I love that kind of like that neighborhood feel. People can come in and,
Yeah.
and you recognize them and they like you said, it's like family.
It's
right?
family.
And they kind of enjoy that experience.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Okay, but I do have to ask you something.
Deal.
I have a theory that if you walk into a restaurant and they put their name on the burger, you have to order that burger because that is the bellwether. That is the indicator of the rest of the menu. If like I'm going to put my name on this burger, it better be good. So I see B&V Burger on here. Is it good?
It's good. The other one is the Codi Burger.
There is a Codi Burger.
Yeah.
So
you put your name behind it. So with that being said,
right.
Chef Carlo won Best Beef in America just for his prime rib.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Okay.
Out of 1,700 chefs.
Really?
Yes, in Texas.
Okay.
And so he said, Codi, what burger do you want?
Okay.
He wants a Texas-style burger. I said, it's onion rings, barbecue sauce. Let's go to the barbecue sauce first. It's a Petaluma mustard,
Okay.
which is kind of strange. I get it. But there is no sweetener. So it is
It's tart
mustard,
and like
whiskey,
really.
and there is no sweetener in it.
Okay.
So there's no sugar.
Right.
And then therefore there's a Gloria Ferrer-battered onion rings in this.
I love this.
And so therefore it's kind of crazy the way it works. Every single person's like, how am I supposed to fit my mouth around this?
It's too big. It's just too big. It's
Yeah,
like,
but I said, smash it.
do it. Do it.
Smash it. And I told him, like, I made shirts for it. And like,
You almost need like the burger press in there, like two pieces of
burger
wood,
press.
and you kind of squish it.
Exactly.
That'd be the way to do it. And you have cheese on there, Sonoma Jack, I think. Right?
Sonoma Jack.
Okay. Yeah, it's good. Good answer. Or pepper jack.
And also double wood smoked, applewood smoked bacon.
Okay, so this isn't like a burger. This is like a huge meal
Exactly.
between
so
two
share
buns
it.
here. So, and that's what I was saying. So when I walk in there, yes, I'll order the other stuff, but really I'll go for the Codi Burger first or the B&V Burger because that's kind of like, for me, start with that to understand the idea behind the restaurant there. And it could be a bad theory. It's
Another
probably a dumb
one.
theory.
Another one. What I try to do is I send out the gnocchi as an appetizer
Okay,
to share with the table.
right.
Because Maria's been with Carlo since 1999.
Oh, wow.
She does all of our pastas. She's absolutely amazing.
It's amazing there. Codi, did your family own a restaurant? Were they ever in the restaurant? But no. Okay. So
Family? Let's go there.
yeah.
So
While we're here,
my family, my mom and dad, both Billboard artists, musicians. So
what? What are you talking about, dude?
Yes.
Who are your parents?
You would know Dusty James and Lisa Ray.
Okay.
They're
musicians.
Yes. So I grew up on tour in a
What? Codi.
in a school bus that actually had a wood-fired oven to keep it warm, and I'd be in a Budweiser box next to with Willie Nelson in a actual Budweiser box, and next to the drum set. And when the spotlight would hit me,
Right.
I'd wake up.
Like on stage? You were on stage?
On stage.
Well, just off stage because the spotlight.
No, because we were poor.
Hold on. Your parents are traveling musicians.
Yes.
On tour. Are they kind of based out of here? Because you mentioned
I can't wait to tell you the end of this one.
Okay, because so you're like traveling around in a bus,
A real school bus.
a real school bus, but it's been become a tour bus for musicians,
Yes.
and you're just traveling around. And your parents, what kind of music do they play?
Country.
They're country musicians.
Yeah.
Where were you? Where were
Texas.
you? Texas.
Dallas, Fort Worth.
Okay, so that's where they're from.
Yeah. Well, my mom is from Nebraska. My dad is from South Dakota. They met in the rodeo. So my
Codi, what rodeo do they meet in?
So my dad is a state champion at bareback and team roping. Mom is a champion at barrel racing.
Codi, hold on. You come from horse people,
Yep.
but the Western style crazy horse people.
100%.
I've been to barrel races, and I'm like, that's
See
it.
my mom
That was it.
cutting.
Cutting.
what they call it.
Like you drive like 3 hours, and then like the race is over like that.
That's it.
I once sat and watched a friend who was in. I didn't know much about it. I'm like, oh,
One of my friend's daughters was competing, and my parents went to go watch her.
Yeah.
Lonnie Bengay. It's like she's actually ranked.
It's amazing to watch.
Yeah.
Again, that's. I mean, something I don't know much about, but I really appreciated watching it because it was like exciting, dangerous, and unknown. While I was watching it, it was amazing. Okay, hold on. So your parents are horse people. They meet at a rodeo, and they're like, you know what? We can't rodeo forever. Let's just do music.
No.
Okay.
It gets way better.
Go.
So They take a wrong turn
Okay.
because they're going to start doing openers for Huey Lewis and the News.
Okay. Which is pop, sort of pop rock. Yeah.
Sports album, hands down, one of my favorite things on the planet. They took a wrong turn and ran through Sonoma.
Okay. And they're like, hold on, slow down, stop the bus. Stop
100%.
the bus.
And so they're actually going to do openers for Huey Lewis and the News. And therefore, 6 months later, the whole entire band moved here.
And this was their home base.
And that's why I'm here.
Okay. And so you grew up here.
I grew up here.
Were your parents still traveling as musicians, or they sort of settled down and?
No, they were a band called Savannah.
Okay.
And so they end up helping open up the up top of Cabernet Sauvignon.
Okay.
You know where that is?
No.
I
I know it's a wine varietal.
No.
It's a bar.
Cabernet.
Where?
Cabaret.
Oh, Cabaret.
Cabernet Sauvignon is above Town Square. Sebastiani.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
So my dad helped build all the things and do all that.
Okay.
I mean, they had super famous musicians.
That would come up here and play.
Unreal. And then it moved into like a nightclub.
Yeah.
I
I
remember
think
it
it's
was like
empty. It's empty up there now.
I know. I tried to put a bowling alley into there, but
We were looking at that space when, it was all one unit. So we're looking to move the visitor center, but they wanted us to take over the entire space. And they said, that's too much space for the visitor center. That's a good spot, though, by the way. If anybody wants to do something, that'd be amazing.
so before Bistro,
Yeah.
it's called Zeno's.
Zeno's. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you work there?
No, my dad's keyboard player was the best on the planet. And he played the flute and piano.
Okay.
And so his name is Jim Macon.
Okay.
And it's Jim Making Me Crazy.
Oh, my God. Did you actually do that? Okay. Cody, how?
I mean, my stories go on for days.
Okay, so this is nuts. Okay, so then your parents are here. They're running, basically, they're musicians. They've got places to play. They might not travel as much as they did when you were in a Budweiser box by the side of the drum kit for Willie Nelson. You're growing up here in this town.
Yeah.
You go to high school here, like you said.
Yeah.
You did the pole vaulting and track. And
No, I was number one in football.
You played football?
I'm number one.
What do you mean number one? You can't say I'm number one.
Yes.
What position were you?
So I laugh and I show my son. I point at all these flags:
right.
quarterback, punt return, kick return, every single thing you can imagine.
Shut up. For the Dragons.
For the Dragons.
Hold on, go Dragons.
Go Dragons.
So that's where, okay, so you're a Sonoma Valley High kid.
Yeah, die hard.
Love
I still have the records. I make sure that he actually goes and checks the records. We still have the 4x1 record.
All right, when there's a kid who's about to break it, you're like, I got to go stop that kid. I must keep my name.
Hell no. Push him harder.
Yeah, they got to go do it. Okay.
Yeah.
So do all this. And now I love that you own B&V and you're a musician and you've got the Whiskey Thieves. And, you're like a known entity. But what I want to talk about, we're 20 minutes in now.
Bring it.
Pirate flag.
All right.
What's the story with the pirate flag, which is now part of Sonoma legend? Can we talk about that?
Yes, we can.
Go.
My partner lost his best friend,
Okay.
and he went to New York to go to his funeral.
Okay.
And I launched the pirate flag because due to the fact that him and I were drinking a lot of rum at the time.
So you rose the pirate flag. You put a pirate flag above your restaurant.
Yeah.
And then the town was like, that's amazing. This is great. What happened?
So we had a pirate flag and a pink door next to us when it was Ben and Jerry's.
So someone painted the door pink of the store next to you, an ice cream.
Yeah. It was, I can't remember. I remember his dad. His name is Rufus, up on top of Diamond Day.
Okay.
I went to their house originally, probably when I was 16 years old.
Okay.
Rufus and Linda, they own the 7-Eleven on the west side.
Okay.
They always give me free Slurpees, whatever.
Little hot dog's been rolling around for 5 days. So good.
Bring it.
So good.
Bring it.
All right. So you raised a flag.
So I raised the flag, right? And everyone got mad. But
When you say everyone, explain that. What do you mean?
I mean, obviously, if it's getting New York,
So it was a kerfuffle, and this was pre-next door days. Like, we didn't have next door back then to complain about stuff.
this is getting New York news.
So the neighbors got mad, and they complained to the city.
Yeah.
And the crime was hoisting a Jolly Roger above the B&V.
Yes. Okay. So due to the fact I put a lot of research into this, Carlo told me this morning, my partner, he said, launch the Jolly Roger. I was like, no, not today, sir. And it was funny because you're allowed to, actually the pirate flag is allowed to be raised no longer than 14 days.
In the city of Sonoma? Or
anywhere. You can launch it, but like any type of flag is allowed to be raised for 14 days.
Okay. So you raise the pirate flag.
I'm going to launch it tomorrow.
But only for 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
And do people, when you have the flag up, does it mean like rum's on sale? Does it mean anything? Or it's just like we just have the flag
It's just
up?
us. It was more along the lines I wanted to come home, and because that was one of his actual their type of thing.
Oh, with a friend that had passed.
Before he passed.
Gotcha.
And I just wanted him to come home and like
it was
make
like
sure that like
an homage to the man who had passed.
Exactly.
Like, it was like we're doing this in memoriam and tipping our hat. So
exactly.
So here's the pirate flag. And instead you pissed off the neighbors.
100%. But Dick Cuneo is like, raise it. And so it was really cool to like have somebody cool.
So you were in the paper. There's a photo of you in front of the flag. You and Carlo in front of the flag, looking defiant, because how else can you look in front of a flag with the classic crossed arm? How come every photo in the newspaper when they do a story, they're like, cross your arms.
Cross your arms.
Look defiant. Or hand on hip. You know, that's the real estate
like,
pose.
It was so cool. Like, if you don't have the opportunity, like,
yeah.
I had to go with, like, I go to all city council meetings and certain things like that. I want to be a part of the pillar of the community.
Okay.
So, like, it's just.
Was that an interesting way to say, I would like to have a conversation? Let's start a little conversation with the pirate flag. What happened to the pink door? Is it still there?
No. It's Sweet Scoops. Joe and Ramey are amazing people.
Good ice cream.
That's unreal.
I know.
Butter brickle.
That's so good. I did a whole trick. I tricked Ramey to come on the podcast because, you know, Joe, it's hard to get him to talk and stuff. So Ramey was like, I'm going to come on. I forced her. And I said, but you got to bring ice cream. So we did an ice cream tasting.
They're the best.
Fun. It was great. And then they had their other place too.
Yeah.
So they're good neighbors. And what I love is your corner, though, is like active.
Super.
Like people,
especially Capo Izetta.
Yeah, Capo, Sweet Scoops, you guys really spill out on the sidewalk and kind of bring the party inside outside. And it really livens up that part of the plaza.
And Martine, too. He's like, got that. But there's a new thing coming right now. It's a new, like, cool. I haven't responded to her yet. Sorry, it's on record. Right. But there's a new antique shop coming where the art shop was.
Okay. This is a very classic Sonoma thing where you describe something by what used to be there 3 iterations ago. So, but you're right.
That was my number one bar. That was the first bar I bought Grolsch from.
Was where the antique shop is.
Where the art shop was?
Right. Okay, so now an antique shop's coming in.
Yeah.
And she
wrote
you?
me.
Oh.
And I was like, because I snapshotted her, whatever, the hire. Mm-hmm. We'll see.
I hope you guys all partner over there and kind of keep
that's my whole point.
That cool vibe going over there. No, that's what, there are some places where neighbors, whether it's actual neighbors at home or store neighbors, they don't interact much. And I think that's the detriment of that area, right? You kind of build it up. What you guys do is you seem to, it looks like you guys all work together, or at least all enjoy being near each other.
Agreed.
And like you're saying, playing basketball against the other adjoining, restaurant staff.
That's
when you build that community, other people can feel that and they want to go there.
It's like, for instance, it's like having Chocolate Cow and Sweet Scoops. Mm-hmm. I grew up with the Palm family my whole life.
Yeah.
But before they bought it, I ended up getting in the back of a, what do you call those? Like the wagons?
Like a station wagon?
But remember when it had the backward seats?
Yeah, the way back.
Way back.
Yeah.
And so we used to get in that when I was in 6th, 7th grade.
Yeah.
And we used to jump in the back, and the grandma would bring us there, and she owned it.
Okay.
And you're allowed to grab anything you want.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Big old chocolate, like gummy bears, like
all the candy, man.
All the gummy.
That's like going into the Willy Wonka factory.
Yeah, it was Willy Wonka factory. The Audubonnies. It was so much fun.
Good times.
You're like, oh yeah, and I'm going to drop the kids off.
Right. That's funny. I've had Max on the podcast too, the chocolate maker / football coach. And,
he is mega. He is so awesome.
A lot of people are saying, how much longer can we keep him here before he goes and does something else? I don't know. I mean,
He's not going to go anywhere.
you don't think so? 49ers might not take him? Kyle Shanahan's.
Let's do it.
I mean, why not? Right? This is our year.
Well,
We say that
this is our year.
say it every year. Codi, when people walk into B&V, what do you hope they experience or what do they take away from that?
I hope they get the best experience regarding service and the food, and just to make sure they come back.
What's the hardest part, if I can ask, about running a restaurant?
People calling out sick.
Yeah.
And, having to get a babysitter and doing things that are like
last minute changes, calling an audible. Yeah. What do you think are some of the best parts about it?
Building a family. Like, I know you said it earlier, but developing relationships with people that you never thought you would.
Right. And restaurants, bars, they are different from other workplaces.
Oh yeah.
I think because you build a deeper connection under that stress. Like there's constant stress in a restaurant. The clock's always ticking.
For instance, last night, my pasta chef said, "Hey," Ariana said hello. I'm like, "Oh, I miss her so much."
Oh, yeah?
Now she's living in Yuba City.
Okay.
And so to just have that opportunity to make an impact.
Kind of remember. Yeah. Like, as a former.
I miss her so much.
She's a former employee,
Yeah.
Ariana?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember my times in restaurants and how, one, we were all younger, so, it was bartending and stuff like that. But you do form a very tight-knit familial experience.
100%.
And also you recognize, it's weird. It's like one of those jobs where like you can be totally in the weeds and everything's going sideways. But at the end of the night, when you're cleaning up and stuff, you're like, oh, we accomplished something. Like we did something. We had a start, a middle, and now the end. And we'll do it again tomorrow. But for now, look what we did, right? We did so many covers or whatever,
Exactly.
flipped so many tables and stuff. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. Although it is hard on the body. It's
Agreed.
a very physical
Mental
job.
too.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially for the owner, right?
Yeah.
All right, Codi, I've heard rumors that there are secret tunnels from the B&V underneath the plaza. Is this true? Are you going to deny it? Or are you going to tell me the truth?
I actually went to where the train station is.
Okay. The old depot?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I went and tried to look at these, and they're actually reality. There's nothing down there because we filled in my office is still the wishing well.
So there's a fountain down there or a wishing well.
Wishing well. I have 3 different sump pumps.
Okay.
Because
Are they running all the time?
always.
So there's water.
Yeah, there's water.
So
there.
is it possible there's like a log flume ride? Like there's a cave full of water rushing that takes you underneath the plaza.
I wish.
I bet you. So you're not denying it though.
No, I'm not denying it.
But you're not confirming it either.
Not either. But guess what I did?
What?
These guys started jackhammering because back in the day when we were young, the bubblegum ice cream was the jam over there at the creamery.
Okay.
So I have all the rocks
From
my parents used to play down here.
Right.
Downstairs used to be like an arcade.
Okay.
And
in your building, where the creamery,
in my building,
when it was a creamery.
yeah, it's 4,000 square feet downstairs.
Okay.
And I was like, "What are you doing? Stop touching it!"
What'd you
And Ron Church,
do? Okay.
Church,
Church's tree service.
yeah, amazing. I told him to stop touching it, and so I kept all of the coins on my wall in my office, are all there.
Really?
Yeah. Because as little kids, we used to throw,
Right into the wishing well.
directly in my restaurant. Like,
Yeah, from up top. My understanding is you could go down into the basement area.
Yeah.
And there was a wishing well, and people
Yeah.
throw coins into it.
throw it,
And all those coins are currently on your wall.
whatever got kept.
Right.
Like, you
1982
can see all of them. Like, I don't touch them because it reminds me of Goonies.
So that's my
The
point.
Goonies.
There's probably a secret treasure from what was it? Was it One-Eyed Joe? No, I can't remember Goonies. What was it?
Goonies.
I know the
It's
movie.
filmed here in Northern California
Yeah,
too.
it finished in Jenner, and parts of it are in Jenner, parts on the Oregon coast. That's why I'm bringing up the tunnels because I think there are secret tunnels
Dude, you have to go over and go look at this because they talk about it.
at the Depot.
They
Hotel.
used
Depot
to
Museum.
say, not Depot Hotel,
The museum. Depot
museum. They say that there are tunnels
Okay.
because they say that the Benedettos
Okay.
which I know and I see them all the time. They used to throw parties down there and full bands downstairs.
Right, 'cause some people said it was part of Prohibition. Some people said it was part of the early winery caves.
I'm telling you.
See, there's a story there.
We used to party at the Harris D, whatever it's called, Buena Vista. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh.
So is it possible there's a tunnel from there down 100%. The hill? Doesn't it make sense? Because water would flow down the hill.
And not only that, but they said they can go to the back of the Mission.
See what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You're not confirming or denying, are you?
No.
Okay, good. I know we have to be mindful of time here because you got some places to go.
Yeah.
But before we move on to our next segment, if people want to find a website to get more information about B&V, what is the website?
www.bvsonoma.com.
That is very simple. Good job. Keeps it simple. And people can make reservations. You make reservations?
Yes.
Make reservations.
100%.
Do that. It makes it easier for you and for staff.
Yeah. Yelp, Open Table.
All this stuff. Are you guys open only for dinner or are you open more than that?
We're open for dinner on Wednesday and Thursday.
Okay.
4 o'clock to 9 p.m. on Wednesday, Thursday. Mm-hmm. And then Friday from 12 p.m. until 9 p.m. and Saturday, Sunday from 11:30 until 9 p.m.
Okay. And if people have like a big group, can they do like take over a part of the back or something like that? Or is it appropriate or is it
100%.
Okay, good. Okay.
You can buy out the whole place if you want.
Oh, okay.
And also we're doing special discounts on Monday, Tuesdays. Oh. You can have the whole place to yourself.
What if I want to book Whiskey Thieves to play there?
It's going to cost you a lot of money.
How'd you come up with the name Whiskey Thieves, by the way?
We haven't played in a long time.
Oh, okay.
So I do Codi Binkley and Friends.
Oh, yeah, because that's how I know you. I see those around town. So, yeah. Okay.
So we're trying our asses off to make sure that we can do some stuff.
Okay.
I mean, we're trying to book some stuff in October for Sebastiani Theater.
Yes. So I've asked this before we get questions. Austin is known as a music town and people go there, right? But it's not like Nashville's known for music, but it's a recording place. But Austin's like a live music place, right? There's other towns that have that.
Not much anymore.
Why? And why can't we not bring that back?
It's way too like weirdly progressive in a sense.
What do you mean?
Like,
you mean this town is, or like just the music scene?
No, over there in Austin.
No, but I'm saying, but how do you build that culture of live music? How does that happen? How does a town do that?
It ends up coming to demographic, and that's what ends up.
That determines what happens, or in our case, not working in our favor.
It's not working in our favor.
But we have a lot of musicians here.
But they're not going to get paid.
So it's the money. It's making money. That's the hard part.
No, I don't care about money. I've got paid in 7 years.
Right.
I put on the show. I make sure that we. I just want to make sure we do the best to deliver what makes us happy.
Okay.
And so that's everything for me.
Yeah, I just want to like with you, whether it's Codi Binkley and Friends or Whiskey
Ringo
Thieves
Moon
or whatever's, or all the different bands that are around here.
Yeah.
Of course, we're known for wine.
Sean Carscadden, Marty O'Reilly.
Look, we're known for food. We're known for wine. But the level of musical talent we have. You just said when Bob was in here, station manager of the station where we record stuff, he's a very good musician. And when you're not here, he just randomly plays music. He's in here just playing stuff. And I'm like,
he is so good.
He is. I know.
His
and I'm like,
guitar playing skills
isn't it crazy? Level. I know. He'll play in his office sometimes. He's like 27 guitars there or whatever.
It's so cool.
But that's my point. So we have all this talent. It's just like, how do we get it to the next where, we have the amphitheater.
We can't.
And
they pushed us away. Whiskey Thieves, they pushed us into the amphitheater. The amphitheater is so secluded that I can't.
It's too secluded in the sense that people can't see you? Or like, it's like...
I just don't like being off.
It sounds bigger.
I just don't like it.
Okay.
Nathaniel is hands down, like the same guy that did Sydney Party last night. Mm-hmm. We call him the Nat Factor.
Oh, yeah, the sound guy.
Nat Factor.
Yeah, he did.
We call him. Dude, I'm telling you.
Yeah, he does our lighting in the plaza. The sound.
Oh, guess what?
Yeah.
You should hear him play every instrument.
Oh, really?
Oh, he's next level.
Oh, okay. So, anyway, we'll get on to that, and you're going to help me build the culture of music. We got to figure out how it works.
I'm ready. We're gonna figure it out
right now.
T. Luke too.
Right.
T. Luke, awesome. Sean Carscadden, Marty O'Reilly,
shouting them all out.
Like seriously,
Yeah.
those guys are like something I wish.
Okay, we're gonna get
be a
there.
part of.
We're gonna get there. Okay. By the and again, it was the website bvsonoma.com.
Yeah, bvsonoma.com.
Getting back to paying the bills, we got to make sure we shout that out.
Yeah.
Cody, you know we have 2 visitor centers. People call us, they text us. You know you have 2 visitor centers because you drive by all the time. Of
course.
And you yell at me, "Hey, Deb!" That's what you do all the time.
Yeah,
You have your
always.
motorcycle. I'm like, "Hey, there's Cody." People call us, text us, send us emails. They go on social media. They ask us questions. And this week, you're going to help us with some of the ones we
gracious.
got. The segment's called We Get Questions. First one, this was on Facebook. Someone posted, what is appropriate attire for tours and tastings? Are jeans appropriate or is it too hot for during the day? The person writes, I have plenty of dresses, but also want to save something special for dinner reservations. Any advice is appreciated. We want to be respectful, but want to limit what we're bringing because they're coming from the East Coast. So they're coming from the East Coast. Long question. What is appropriate for tours and tastings in Sonoma? What kind of clothing?
To be honest,
Yeah.
I think about how you're feeling.
Yeah.
If you want to wear a sundress,
Yeah.
especially if it's in the summer, wear a sundress.
Yeah.
Guys, rock some jeans if you feel it.
You can wear jeans.
As long as you have some good shoes, like you got to match that.
Hey, hold on. You just hit on something very important. Comfortable shoes
Yeah,
are
100%.
important because sometimes this is what happens. You can wear whatever you want. This is Sonoma. Like you're wearing right now, people who aren't watching, you're wearing like kind of a Hawaiian style button-up shirt with a collar. You know, you wash your face, so thank you. You look great. Brush your hair. You can pretty much wear anything you want, but after you visit like your second winery, someone's going to say, hey, let's walk in a vineyard, right? Or like, let's go walk over here.
Okay.
And if you're not wearing comfortable shoes, that's not a good idea.
You're screwed.
Yeah. And you should always ask before going in the vineyard
100%.
because that is a working agricultural field. It's not like, you know,
You can't just walk anywhere.
no. I mean, you go like St. Francis, San Giacomo. There's certain wineries you can ask because there's nearby places. But
Steve would be pissed.
if you go too deep, yes. So you have to ask. Thank you.
Yeah, and especially Connie.
Don't upset the people who grow your wine, man.
What do you mean?
Don't make be
My
nice to
grandma's name is Connie, and so is Steve and Giacomo's wife's name is Connie. The only other Connie I've ever met in my whole life.
them. You know, there aren't a lot of Connies out there.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to talk about
My
that.
only grandma alive is Connie.
Really?
So,
I met someone whose name was Francis, just a young person. I'm like,
that's-
Francis, you don't see very often.
so you're Richard?
Middle name, yeah. My
Okay.
dad's listening.
Mine
He's
too.
Richard. Yeah, see? Good name.
So guess what?
What?
My name is C.O. for Connie, D.I. Connie and Dick.
They put their names together.
That's my name.
I love that.
C.O.D.I.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's why I always had you down as C-O-D-Y.
No.
Okay, good.
Connie and Dick.
It's like Vicky and Sam, Beyonce, Cody.
Exactly.
Oh my God. All right. So anyway, you
So
can
let's
wear
go
whatever
here
you want.
because here we go.
You can wear, here's what you do. You can wear whatever you want, and you can bring dresses. Probably the only places, if you're dressing up, you're going to Enclos, Michelin 3-star restaurant, but it's not like
Perle.
Perle.
Perle. You gotta get some dresses
Go over
from
there.
there.
Oh, so
Oh,
if
yeah.
you didn't bring something, you can get something.
Exactly.
Smart play.
Smart
I
play.
thought you were like going to wear stuff to Perle. No, you
Well,
can
you
go
can
to
wear a dress if you want.
I could definitely do that. If you take me to Enclos, I will. Have you been there yet?
Yes.
You have?
Yeah. Michelin star.
3 of them. You didn't ask me to meet you there.
Well, my wife works for Thomas Keller for 11 years.
So it was research. It was research. Okay. Here's another one. Another question we got via email. So good answer to that one. Person from the East Coast, wear whatever you want. Next question. Are there any wineries that you can do a grape stomping experience at? Or where can you do grape stomping?
Absolutely not. So I was a brick sampler and a tonnage estimator.
Hold on. Start. Bricks, not brick. Bricks. Yeah. Sampler and tonnage estimator.
Yes.
Tell me what that means real quick.
So bricks are where you basically take a refractometer and you have to go and you go through all of the vineyards and make sure that you take off the ricus and you actually have to smash it and
Squeeze some grapes.
squeeze the grapes. And then you have to put it into the sun to make sure where the actual sugar content is.
So bricks is a level of sugar within a grape juice.
Exactly.
Or in winemaking, at least. And so they sent kids out with a clipboard. Is that what they did? And
Me.
yeah.
I was a kid.
And you had to
Me and
count-
my dog.
And you had to count clusters on vines to
Exactly.
guess
Well, I had to
how
go
many-
all the way through it.
Yeah.
And I had 17 different vineyards they had to do.
And guess how many tons are going to come out of that vineyard?
Exactly.
So the winemakers can be ready when harvest time rolls around.
Well, depending on what vintage. I mean, sorry, depending on what varietal.
Yeah.
That would end up happening, whether it be white, red, Rieslings,
All
or
of it.
this, all of it.
So you were out.
It was my favorite job on the planet. It was just me and my dog.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Before a wife,
Yeah.
before kids.
Freedom, man. You just had a Walkman and a dog, and you're walking around.
Me and my Vishla. Boom. But I got a lot of poison oak. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, there is poison oak out there, man.
Well, because he'd just be running around everywhere. Mason.
And then you'd pet the dog, wouldn't you? Or he'd go up
Oh,
against
yeah.
the leg.
And I'd be done.
Yes.
I'd be done.
I get it,
Like, I look at it and I get it.
It's that should be the state flower. I'll tell you that right now. So you're right. There are not many wineries that will allow you to stomp grapes, largely because nowadays we don't use Italian girls in red dresses squishing grapes in large vats. That no longer happens because.
Not only that, but the winery business is down 71%.
Oh, whoops. Did you say that on the podcast? No, you're right. Winery business is down, and we're encouraging people to come visit. And
No,
check it
I'm
out.
trying my ass off to try to make sure.
Well, but this is a good point, though, because people do want those kind of experiences. So what I am going to say is they can go to the Vintage Festival where we have a stomping,
100%.
A stomping contest. Have you done that before, the stomping
Yes,
contest? I think
I
you
have.
Were you there last year?
Yeah, I was there.
It's so much fun. You have one guy stomping, one person swabbing.
I think that's one of the coolest experiences you can ever have in this whole entire valley is to be all, if you get actually to get in,
Yeah.
like getting your feet
You're
down, like,
splattered in
I don't
grape
care.
juice.
I love it.
That is a fun one.
It's so cool.
It is a good one.
like,
But there are other businesses you can hire to do that. My advice to this person, if they want to see grapes being crushed, you can absolutely ask wineries if they were bringing in grapes to what they call the crush pad, and if there's
Yeah.
ability to watch that. But ask ahead.
Number one, be it what right now,
Mm-hmm.
only due to the fact that I know the winemaker is Shane Ryan.
Okay.
They actually provide that experience. It's at Larson Family Vineyard.
Oh, right. Larson's great.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, but ask ahead to find out.
Ask
if they're bringing
ahead.
grapes in.
What day's the crush?
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting close,
Very
due
close.
to the fact this will be the largest since 2004. It will be our largest heat index since 2004.
They came in early. Yeah.
They're going to be coming in hot right now.
Wait, did you go out there testing them again? Were you like just for old time's sake? Were you?
No, I just watch Sal Castaneda's Fox News. So I'm like, I'm in at work so early, but let everyone sleep.
And you watch the weather, and you're like, see how it's going to affect the grape.
The new guy's pretty cool too. Ryan Reynolds, I think is what his name is.
At you. Okay, so the quick answer to that one, there aren't ones that allow grape stomping, but you can watch grapes being pressed. Otherwise, go to the Valley of the Moon Vintage Festival and do your own grape stomping.
100%.
Concept. Okay. Another question we got is, are there any co-op tasting rooms in Sonoma Valley? And this is a hard one. Co-op. And so
There are actually. It's not Highway 12 because Highway 12 just closed, right? It's,
Highway 12 Winery's still open. Oh, yeah.
but why was she on the picture?
What picture?
It's Highway 12, right? She is
No,
also
Highway
right there at the red and white building, which I didn't know even actually existed.
The barn?
Yeah,
No.
barn.
So Highway 12 is still there.
Okay, so there's something else.
But a co-op is one where like you usually multiple tasting rooms in one space. So there is sort of like one in Glen Ellen.
The only one would be Inateca.
Right. So you kind of have to go to essentially like a wine shop or store, which has
That's
that
the
kind of
one.
vibe. Yeah, Inateca
That
is
is the
definitely
one.
one. And that is on Napa Street,
Napa Street, next to Della Santina.
between 1st Street and 2nd Street East, across from Reader's Books, next to Della Santina.
Oh,
You like
yes.
that? Deep cut there.
100%.
There's also a couple, if you go up to Glen Ellen, there's a couple different like smaller wineries all together. They're not co-op in that sense. But I don't think we actually have one like where there's 15 wineries pouring in one room and they kind of
Agreed.
rotate. But maybe that's an opportunity for somebody.
Hey, guess
There's
what?
One, there's one person that wants that. So you can do that. But you can also go to like Psy if you want to go a lot of sparklings.
I've known Jamie since we've been 6 years old.
Was she also
Jamie Powers.
Was she also a track and field star at Sonoma Valley High?
No.
I'm gonna ask her.
I think she was a cheerleader.
Really?
Yeah.
I get a theater kid vibe sometimes too. But I can see cheerleader. And then also Pomme, Pomme.
Oh.
They have a lot of different types of
Love Rick.
ciders and also pet nats and stuff. So
Yeah. The Italian cider over there is like
good stuff.
phenomenal.
He has a strawberry cider comes in once in a while, and he'll kind of go, "Psst, try this cider. He's like, we don't have many.
Oh, he's so amazing.
Good. He's a fun guy. So, okay, final question, and I think you got it, and it's apropos because we got to wrap this up soon so you can go get your kids.
Deal.
Do any wineries offer tastings or experiences for kids, like grape juice tastings, or are they just sort of kid-friendly?
No.
Well, there aren't.
I mean, do you know one? I'm laughing over here.
Well,
like,
so it depends on what you mean by kids' experiences, because some will offer grape juice for the kids, but I don't know a lot here in Sonoma Valley that do that. But you mentioned earlier Larson. You can bring your kids to Larson.
Yeah.
And your dog if they're both on a leash.
and they have cornhole.
That's right.
All that.
Bocce and stuff like that. You can go to Benziger and do the tour. And that's good for kids because you have a tram tour and they have those baby, no, they're not baby, but those little dwarf Shetland cow things or whatever.
Exactly.
And some of the wineries have experiences that kids can do, but they're not like the kids are going to do a flight of grape juice tasting.
Well, that's pretty funny. I would do Welch's or something like that and do a white and a
You could totally do it.
A dark.
You could totally do
Be
it.
like, make sure they're in like wine glasses or something.
Bring them a Lunchable and call it a day.
Exactly. Lunchables, Uncrustable.
$25 reserve tasting for kids.
That's pretty good though.
Yeah. Well,
Because it could be unfermented. Like,
you've had unfermented grape juice.
Yes,
it's
100%.
delicious. It's so good.
I always think about this because all grapes are clear.
Yeah, all the grape juice. Yeah.
All grape juice besides.
Alicante Bichet.
Exactly. You nailed it.
That's the one that like your tongue just turns dark.
Oh, it's game over.
It's all over. You're like, hey, you had some Alicante, haven't you? So the answer is that call ahead. There are some wineries that have some kids' experiences, but as far as we know right now, we don't know about a flight of grape juices. But
I think it'd be smart though.
That might be our new business. Maybe
Let's do this.
B&V and juice. We're going to put it all together.
B&V
and T.
rolling down the street, B&V juice.
All right, Codi, you answered all the questions as best you could, most of them correctly. Good job.
Agreed.
You're amazing.
Thank you for having me.
You bet.
I appreciate it.
Again, if people want to find out about your restaurant, the website again is?
www.bvsonoma.com.
Great. And then keep a lookout for Codi Binkley in the different band iterations because you do appear all over the place.
We do www.codibinkley.com.
Oh, that's how I find that information. Oh, great. You're so smart. Okay, good. And they can come hear you perform and as we start to build the Sonoma music scene. So, Codi, thank you so much for being on.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And after you go to CodiBinkley.com for music, after you go to BVSonoma.com for food, go to SonomaValley.com for deals, special offers, and events. Mom and Dad, thanks for listening, and we'll see you all next week.
Mom and Dad.
Bye-bye.